Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be my week 1 Ironman training recap. Now, before I begin, I want to say that the reason I'm doing these videos, to be honest with you, is I get to write this stuff off on my taxes. If I do a bunch of videos on the subject, and because my YouTube channel is monetized, I can write off all my triathlon stuff as a business expense on my taxes. So for those of you who don't want to see these types of videos too bad, you can always unsubscribe or not watch. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing these, and I don't care how many people watch. And you know, it was a rough week. I'm not going to say a rough week, but it was a learning experience, because basically what it was my marathon training with bike rides and swims added. So when I was training for my marathon, I ran 4 times a week and I lifted 4 times a week. And I'm still running 4 times a week, but now I'm also biking 4 times a week and swimming 3 times a week. I'm only lifting 1 time a week, at least I did this past week, but it's a lot more taxing and you feel a lot more tired and you need to eat a little bit more. So swimming was definitely a learning experience. Like I said in the introductory video, that's my weakest discipline. And I basically did a bunch of intervals. You know, because you obviously, with the way I swim is I can't just swim like, for example, 2,000 yards in one go. You need to break it up. So you make it into digestible intervals to hit the target yardage. So if the training plan says swim 2,000 yards, you got to be able to break it up. So the first 2 days, I definitely felt like I wasn't making any progress, but yesterday, Sunday 4:10, is when I finally felt like I was making some progress on the swim. I was able to get a lot better, and I feel like the 2 major improvements was just breathing. The problem I was doing when I was swimming is I was taking too big of breaths. What I did is I started taking shorter breaths and exhaling it all before taking another short breath, and I really felt like that helped keep carbon dioxide from building up in my lungs, so I did a lot better. As you can see, I swam 2,000 yards, but in about 15 less minutes than I did on Friday. And so I felt like that, and also really getting a 90-degree angle when you're, you know, pushing yourself forward, because if you reach out, you're not getting as much surface area when you pull like that, but when you pull with a bent elbow, you get more surface area. You propel yourself forward with less effort. But I really felt like a lot more confident getting out of the pool yesterday, so making strides there. On the bike, again, a lot of interval training. So Saturday was my long ride. So basically the long ride said bike for 2.5 hours. Okay, and this is where I had a problem. It was at the very beginning of the ride, and I was going over a bridge, and it was 1 lane each side, right? And there's a hill on the other side of the bridge, so any cars behind me could not pass until I was done with the bridge, where it widened back out to 2 lanes. And there was a truck behind me, a blue Ford F-250 lifted Super Duty truck. And he was mad because he wanted to get by me. I couldn't, so he was honking the horn. He was mad because it was a 1 lane. I couldn't go off to the side since it was a bridge. You know, he basically had to deal with it until I got to the end of the bridge. And usually if there's cars behind me, I'll pull off to the side and let them pass. I'm not like a dick that like purposely like will block traffic for a mile or 2. If I can go off to the side, I will let you pass. That's what I do, because I just don't like cars being behind me. And so finally, when I got off the bridge and the road went back out to 2 lanes, I expected the truck to go to the left lane to pass me, but he did not. He stayed in the right lane, and I was on the very far right edge of the right lane, and he decided to roll by me and slam his horn, like give me the middle finger and everything. He was so close that my left elbow is pretty much touching his truck, and that is against the law. You have to, if you're going to pass someone on a bike, you have to give him at least 3 feet. He did not do that, and he slammed on the horn and everything. And since he was so close and I thought he was going to hit me, I veered off to the right, off to the shoulder, which was very bumpy and had a pothole in it. And I hit the pothole and went flying over my handlebars back into the street, right? I am very lucky there was not another car behind this truck, because I would have gotten run over. But, you know, since my bike has the pedals where my shoes clip onto them, I and my bike went flying into the street. And I got all kinds of banged up. I got bruises and cuts and scrapes everywhere. The left handlebar of my brand new bike was bent. My new Garmin watch scratched in a bunch of different places. The skin on my left ankle completely torn off. And the bike gear, where the chain, like that metal spiky thing where the chain sits on the bike, stabbed me about 25 different places on my left calf. I was just bleeding everywhere. Blood everywhere, and the truck dries off. You know, I guess he had nothing better to do on a Saturday morning than try to kill me. But anyway, he's probably some fat dude that has a beer gut so big that he can't even tie his shoes, and that type of person. But anyway, this happened like within the first 5 minutes of my ride. And once I realized I didn't have any broken bones or anything, I got back on my bike and I kept going. Overall, it took 2.5 hours. I rode all the way out to Globe Life Park and back, 35.16 miles total. And the weather was nice, 70 degrees, but as you can see, it was windy. 18-mile-an-hour wind, which is from the south, which is pretty annoying. All week long, winds of, between 18 and 25 miles per hour. I just got to deal with it at this time of the year, I guess. But overall, for the week, I biked 80.83 miles for about 6 hours. Running is pretty easy because, like I said, I did a marathon training plan for so long. Not really much is different. Really, the only thing that was new was this brick run, which I did after a hour, 15-minute bike ride on Thursday. And it was a weird experience because the idea of a brick run is as soon as you're done biking, you transition to run mode as soon as possible. So pretty much just change my shoes, load my bike up in the back of my car, and I start running. And my legs were very heavy, and I was like, oh man, my legs are so heavy. My pace is going to be so bad. And then when my watch buzzed after the first mile of my run, it said my pace was like 8:20 or so. I was like, what? I felt like I was running a 10-minute pace. I don't know how. Look at my paces for my runs this week. My brick run was my best pace, 8:13, and it felt like I was running slow. But I guess just because my legs were heavy didn't mean I was making good time, but it was a very interesting experience. This run on Saturday, I did on Saturday afternoon, a couple hours after my long bike ride, 9:44 pace, but it was hot. It was 84 degrees, sunny. The temperature really affects how much calories you burn. And then I got up at 5:30 yesterday morning on Sunday to do my long run for the week at a 9:20 pace. But the gimmick of this long run was to stay in zone 3, which means my heart rate had to stay under 150 beats per minute. So anytime it went over, I had to slow down, which is why my pace was 9:20. I could have ran faster, yeah, but the idea was to stay in zone 3, not let my heart rate go over 150. And I didn't really do any zone training, heart rate zone training during my marathon running, so that was also new. I only lifted once. I did on Wednesday, full body workout. So I tried to hit the 8 main muscle groups, or 9, abs, chest, shoulders, quads, hams, biceps, triceps, and traps. And back. So pretty much just like 8 core lifts, really lifting to maintain, not to gain or anything like that. So when you look at calories burned, people wonder if these watches, this is a Garmin Fenix 7, people wonder how accurate they are. I would say during my marathon training, it was pretty damn accurate. I would say it actually might overestimate slightly. What really stood out to me is just how few calories you burn when you swim. I mean, after you're swimming for an hour, you swim 2,000 yards, you're tired. And then it says you only burn 365 calories. But that's the idea of swimming. Your idea is to make your stroke more efficient and keep your heart rate low so you're not like running out of breath. So it kind of makes sense that you don't want to burn a lot of calories when swimming. Biking, it really all depends on what the temperature is. Look at this. I had an hour bike ride on Tuesday when the temperature was 91 and I burned 858. And then I had an hour bike ride on Friday when the temperature was 64 and I only burned 611. So pretty much the same exact ride, but I burned 250 more calories on Tuesday because of the temperature difference. And that's because your body expends more energy when it's hotter because it's trying to cool itself down. You see the same dynamic when you're running, which is why I got up at 5:30 yesterday morning to run for 80 minutes. I burned 1,000 calories, but if it was 93 instead of 63, I probably wouldn't be able to keep my heart rate under 150 unless I was walking. That's one of the main reasons I didn't really do zone training that much, is because it's kind of pointless to do heart rate zone training when it's hot, because I did a 10-mile run a couple Sundays ago and it was like 90 degrees and my heart rate was like in the 180s the entire time and it was miserable. That's why I had to get up so early when the temperature was in the 60s to do the zone training on Sunday. You get the idea how much temperature plays a role in how many calories you burn and also how much energy you expend in your heart rate. So as far as eating and nutrition is concerned, it really depends on what I was doing. And like I said, it's all a learning experience, right? So on Tuesday, I ate in the AM, I ate in the PM, I ate midday. I ate 3 times on Tuesday for a total of 62 calories at a 405 deficit. But the reason it was such a big deficit is not because I planned that, but I projected that I would burn about 3,300 calories or 3,250 calories that day. And I went about 400 over because of the temperature difference. And so I told myself, you know what, I'll just add all these calories on at the end of the week. So that's what I ended up doing. I just ate what I had planned at the beginning of the week, and then I was like, I'll just add those on Saturday and Sunday, which is what I did, as you can see. But on Wednesday, I just did a low carb OMAD. OMAD stands for 1 meal a day. So I ate once on Wednesday after my late run. 2,700 calories, only 5% of those calories came from carbs, so it was pretty much a low carb keto meal, and I was fine. And then I was like, you know what, I'll do that again on Thursday when I had a bike ride and then a brick run after that. Bad idea. I needed those carbs for that brick run. Even though I had a good pace and everything, it was still, my legs were heavy and I could have used the carbs. So next time I'm doing a brick run, I'm going to add carbs to that and not do a keto low carb diet and OMAD. I'll split it out into two. Friday, I did the same exact diet as I did on Tuesday. Saturday, I didn't eat anything before the long bike ride, which is normal. During marathon training, I did almost all my runs fasted. The only time I would eat before running was if I had a run of 13 miles or longer, where I'd eat like a Cliff Bar or something, nothing major. And so since I had so many calories to make up this weekend, I made a big thing of lasagna on Saturday, which is what I ate on Saturday. I could have eaten more, but I stopped myself at 5,000 calories. And then Sunday, I ate the rest of the lasagna, and I also had a protein shake in between my swim and my run. I did the run first, then I had a protein shake, went to church, and then after church, I swam. So I had the protein shake to hold me over until I could eat the rest of the lasagna after that. Today's my recovery day. I don't do anything. I usually burn about 2,150 on days I don't do anything. I ate 1380. I pretty much made an omelet, no carbs at all, just protein and fat, 770 deficit. So overall, plus 400 calories, which is what I'm going to try to aim for every week. A calorie surplus is about 400. I don't want to eat at a deficit because I'm not looking to lose anything at this point. I don't want to lose any muscle or anything, but I don't want to eat too much of a surplus where I'm gaining unnecessary fat or anything like that. So overall for the week, I started at 162.3. This morning I was 166. So a lot of people are like, oh, you gained 3.7 pounds. Not exactly. I actually weighed 166.7 last Monday, so I was actually down 0.7 pounds from the previous Monday. So that's what I'm going to judge my weight off of, either that or Tuesday to Tuesday, Monday to Monday. So overall, learning experience, definitely have a lot to build off of. Really looking forward to see how I swim this week now that I feel like I'm getting the stroke and the breathing down. It's not that I didn't have a swimming background. It's something I tried to do a little bit in 2020, but I was never really serious about it because I think I did it just to do it, just for like an extra way to get cardio and weight loss instead of having an established goal like I have now. So now that I have more of a direction, I feel like I know what I'm doing and know how to improve. And so looking forward to week 2. Once again, we got 3 more swims, and they're all going to be interval swims until I feel like I can swim a mile nonstop. And once I can do that, I'll start adding the continuous swims in there. But pretty similar. The only difference this week is I'm going to try to make my long swim longer. So my longest interval without stopping on Sunday was 200 meters. So maybe go for 250 meters on Tuesday or 250 yards. So that is the goal in the swim. Overall, plan on doing 6,200 yards worth of swimming this week, about 400 more than last week. So biking, we got 4 more rides, but only about 4 hours and 15 minutes worth of riding instead of 6 hours of riding. I don't have a planned distance yet because I don't know, but pretty much how this training plan works is you do a hard week and then an easier week, a hard week and then an easier week. So this is definitely going to be an easier week than last week. So we got a speed workout this week, and a speed workout is when it's kind of like a HIIT workout. Like for example, I think it said like 20 minutes spinning as fast as you possibly can, followed by like 3 minutes of rest. Do that for an hour. I think that's what it was. And then running, nothing really hard. The longest run being an hour on Thursday after the bike ride. But it's not a brick, meaning you have to space them out. You don't want to do a full brick. It's going to be hot this weekend, so this bike ride, I might want to do it early, or actually I need to get heat acclimated at the same time, so I might do this during the heat, because bike riding in the heat doesn't bother me. Running, I can do it. A short run, like 20 minutes, I'll be fine. I am going to lift twice this week. I do plan on doing a full body lift on Saturday as well. And as far as the deficit is concerned, like I said, that's going to be my plan. It's just to eat what I have planned, but then any additional calories that I need to eat, I will make up on the weekend. That is what I have planned for week 2. Hopefully I make progress and get myself ready for week 3, which is going to be harder than week 1 in terms of distances, length, and everything else. Like I said, it alternates easy, hard, easy, hard. But that wraps up my statistical deep dive of my Ironman triathlon training for week 1 and what I have to look forward to week 2. If you have a problem with these videos, that's too damn bad. You can unsubscribe, you can not watch. Even if nobody watches, that's great. I can just write it off even more because I'll show more of a loss on my profit and loss statement to the IRS and be able to write off more. And my taxable income will go down. So I'm glad if you don't watch. But anyway, that wraps up this video. I will see you, I don't know, maybe next week for the upcoming recap of week 2.